Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the third episode of the 8-Bit Monologue, my podcast that I do occasionally. I wanted to do this more often, as you guys have known, or if you may not have noticed, I should say, to be more grammatically correct and make more sense of the sentence. I have been uploading semi-regularly over the past week. I've been doing one video every 2 days, and that's going to be the plan, with the exceptions of the weekends. I'm only going to put up podcasts on the weekends. I'm thinking every Saturday or every other Saturday I'm going to put up podcasts. So this video was recorded the day before I put it out, and I just finished watching the video for the final Hardcore Minecraft series, and that was such a fun video. This little series has mainly been a test to me to see what I can edit, and just how I do editing. And I found out that I'm not good at editing, or at least like not nearly as good as I'd want to be. I have high hopes for myself, and it's always like there's parts about it that I would fix, there's parts about it that I would change already, and redo a little differently. But it's like I'm learning, and that's the big important thing about it. Is as I do this stuff, I'm not doing it just because I'm doing it to learn. I'm doing it to get better, and because I genuinely enjoy it. Like I didn't get a chance to talk about this in the series because the series ended so fast, but I genuinely enjoyed editing the videos more than I did playing the game. And I know I said that Minecraft isn't fun and I don't like it, which still reigns true. Minecraft on its own is pretty fucking boring. But no, the video editing process and doing all of that was more entertaining to me, and it was more passionate, because it wasn't like I was editing to get it done faster. Even tonight, I edited the final episode, and it's not even up yet. I think it's like fucking 80% done uploading, and it's almost 11 o'clock, so hopefully it'll be up before Saturday. But yeah, I mean, I recorded that tonight, and I edited it tonight. It should have been done a lot sooner in terms of editing, but I'm okay with being late. So, but yeah, I wasn't going to rush it, because it's like, this is the final episode of it. I want to make it at least decent and smooth, and everything kind of worked well the way I wanted to. And it did. Everything kind of worked out well. I got a couple memes in there, a couple funnies that I'm pretty proud of, honestly. If I don't know if you guys have seen the video. If you haven't seen the video, go watch it. I might remember to put a card in the corner of the screen right now, so you can go watch that and come back, because I'm gonna spoil some of it. Obviously, it's the final episode, so that means I died. No surprise there. I went back and I changed the titles of the other videos, which I was going to do regardless. Like, if I had died at episode 37, it would have been 1 of, 2 of, 3 of, whatever, 37. I would have done it for all of them. This time it was easy, because I could just do 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and 3 of 3. However, the thumbnails would not have changed. The thumbnails would have remained the same, and it would have looked a little goofy, and it still looks a little goofy, because I say 1 of 50 and 2 of 50, then it's of 3. And I think that's pretty funny. But what was I going to talk about? But I guess I can talk about the thumbnail on the third episode. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I intentionally, the whole thing's a joke. The thumbnail is. It's obviously a joke, in that I gave myself full netherite armor. I had a netherite sword and a nether star, and I had a bunch of diamond blocks in my hotbar. And I was clearly in creative mode. It was not me being lazy. It was supposed to obviously be a joke. Because, YouTubers will do that, or at least I guess it'd be like a stigma or a stereotype that YouTubers do that thing like, oh, I did some off-screen mining, and they come back and they have like a bunch of fucking shit. So I just teleported myself to a bastion on a random world. It's not even the same world. I just found a random world and just teleported myself to a bastion, got myself a bunch of gear, and just fucking took that picture and called it good. It's like, good screenshot. Right on. So yeah, that was pretty fun to do. I did that while on a call with friends on Discord. It was very entertaining. Had a lot of fun doing that. But no, this little series has been a lot of fun to edit mainly. It's been a good test of how I work OBS, how I work audio, and fitting in audio at certain points with video editing. Learning what things on my video editing program work well, like what with say animations, filters, things like that work well, text, how that stuff works. It's been a good test of that. So far, I like my editing software. It's not the best out there, of course, but I went a little cheap because I'm not going to pay a bunch of money for a video editing software. I just don't think it's worth it at this point in my life. I think I am more than happy with what I've got right now. It's been very good to me. It's certainly a lot better than what I used to do. For those of you who don't know, I used to do all of my video editing on Windows Live Movie Maker. I think no, I don't think a single video on this channel was done with Windows Live Movie Maker. I don't think a single one was. I think I did all of these videos on this video editor that I'm using now. I think. I could be wrong. Maybe the first one, like the Call of Duty Zombies video, might be done on Windows Live Movie Maker, but I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure I'm doing it on this this software that I'm currently using, and it's been great to me. And I think you could probably tell that the amount of editing I'm doing and the quality at which they are being done is I hope it looks like it's progressing. And it's a lot easier to do edits on these kinds of videos, these kind of live recording ones. Whereas like the scripted ones, you have to time out like what shot needs to go where. And it's kind of a bitch because it's like when I go through and I listen back to the scripts of the videos that I do for the long essay forms, it's like, okay, I take notes and timestamps of what shot should go here and whatnot. And like half the time, it doesn't even end up like working out because I go like a mile a minute and I say so much. So it's just like, man, none of these are going to work. So I just end up like throwing like, here's several different clips. And I'll kind of change through the clips at different audio cues, like at the end of a sentence or at the end of like a section. And like, it's just how I would do it. But no, when I get back to doing the essay videos, I haven't been doing that really. I have a script written up for one for a game that I fucking love playing, although I haven't finished playing it yet. So I need to get on that, and I need to finish playing it, and then I want to go back through and do it all again. Although I've played the game so many times throughout my childhood that I think I can talk about it well enough to know enough about the game that I can shit on it, praise it where it needs to be done. And then after I do that one, I want to do its sequel, because the sequel of that particular game is pretty good. I guess I can talk about it. I want to do Dark Cloud and Dark Cloud 2, or Dark Chronicle if you don't live in the US. I have the script written for Dark Cloud 1. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I want to keep that kind of for the video. I haven't even thought about a script for Dark Cloud 2. I haven't even played the game in it quite a bit of time. However, I do plan on playing it again soon and getting that going pretty soon. It should be fun. It should be a lot of fun to do. It's a great game. Finding the time to get the footage for that video is going to be a bit of a bitch, because it's one of those games, especially Dark Cloud 2. I'm specifically Dark Cloud 2. There's no real way to cheat the game. Dark Cloud 1 has a very easy, like, exploitable cheat that you can just fucking use and abuse, and it's really good for getting footage because you can go through the entire game so fast and you can get any footage you need relatively quickly because you can just cheat your way through it. So it's easy. But Dark Cloud 2 doesn't have that. You don't have that ability to cheat, so you actually have to play the game legitly. Like, you actually have to play it right. And the only way to really, quote, cheat is to get a certain item from a certain NPC that you have to complete challenges and get medals from the dungeons to get. So it's like, it's not cheating, it's just a feature. And it's kind of difficult to do. But no, there's so much to both those games, and I can't wait to talk about them more in depth. But yeah, I mean, it's been quite a while. I mean, I haven't had a chance to talk about the fucking COVID yet, man. I haven't had a chance to talk about that. Not that I really want to, because I'm sure it's boring to almost everybody. But like, I haven't had a chance to talk about the election yet either. I'm a little bit late on that, and that's okay. The further out we get, the better, I think, to talk about. Because I think I'm at a point now where it's like, okay, anybody who listens to me talk about it, they're not going to get like too heated up because the election's over. It's done. And I know that there's probably a couple people, no, it's not done. It's like, shut the fuck up, it's over, dude. It's done. Just accept it. It's done. And if the shoe was on the other foot, I'd be saying the same thing. If it was Biden who clearly lost, I'd be saying, shut up, dude. It's done. It's over. We're done here. But right now, it's looking pretty clear that Trump is lost, and that's okay. Like, if you don't like Trump, you're probably cheering. If you do like Trump, you're probably jeering. And it's like, at the end of the day, we're all a part of the same country, and there's so much propaganda on both sides of the aisle. Some of the more obvious propaganda from the right, for example, is that the left is trying to take away all your freedoms and shit, and that they're trying to take away your guns. Some of them are. Some of them have no idea how to work guns. Like, some of these people, lawmakers, have no idea how the fuck guns work, and they have no idea they don't even know what AR means. By the way, it means Armalite. So, if you didn't know that, now you do. But some of these people don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, and it's ridiculous. And they make laws about it. And that's fair. It's one of those things where I consider myself to be a right-wing person in that position. But then you go to the other side, and you have the people on the left screaming that everybody's a Nazi and that everyone's trying to take away rights from minorities and shit. It's just like, no. I mean, I'm sure there's a few of them, and I would say the same thing to someone who's right wing. I'm sure there's a few people who are trying to take away your guns, because there is. There are, I should say. So it's like, but no, the vast majority of people on the right don't think that way. Same thing with the left. The vast majority of people on the left do not think that your gun should be taken away. There's probably some people who think there should be laws around it, and that's fair to think that way. Although I tend to kind of disagree with a lot of gun laws, but that's it's an opinion. It's one of those things. But no, let's talk about this election, boys. It's been a feisty one. I think everyone was kind of sitting on the edge of their seat, just kind of waiting for the results. I remember the day after election was inventory day at work where I work. That inventory day is where we go around the shop where I work and we count all the parts, all the little pieces of shits, anything we have, we count it, put it on a list, and our receptionist adds it all up, sends it to the I guess quote corporate place, and they do inventory. And it's the day after election, so that means everyone at the shop, everyone who works there, except for the service guys. I work in an HVAC shop, by the way. That's your air conditioners, furnace people. Everyone who works there, all the installers, which I think is 14 installers, maybe 13. I don't quite know. Maybe actually it might be 12. Could be way off. All of us were there, working, counting shit up, and it's the day after the election. Now, exception of I think one person, because they were out with COVID, and I think they still are. I hope he's doing well. But anyway, no. And it's man, people were kind of feisty because as the time before, we didn't know. We had no idea at this time. It was one day after. We didn't know until the Saturday after, when they officially declared Joe Biden to be the winner. Not officially, but projected him to be the winner, I suppose. But basically, it's official. I mean, let's be real. At this time, I remember I walked out of the front office into the back shop, and my manager, not my manager. Well, is he a manager? Well, he's the guy who runs the shop, I suppose. One of my coworkers and another coworker were just sitting there talking about politics, and one of them asked me, "Are you a Joe Biden supporter?" And I just said no. They asked. I don't remember what they asked me. Something about the election. Who you rooting for in this election? I said, honestly, at this point, I don't care who wins. I think we'll be fine either way. Because I'm not there to fucking talk about politics. I'm there to count my shit and leave. I don't want to fucking do this. The longer that people sit around and talk about politics, the more time we're going to have to be here after. So I don't want to fucking talk about this. And then I get called an idiot for saying that. Because I dared to even say that we'd be okay with a Joe Biden presidency. Because this person was a Trump supporter. And I like the guy. Good guy. Great guy. Really good man. Solid dude. But it's just you call me an idiot. That's so profoundly stupid. I didn't even say I supported Joe Biden. I didn't even say anything like it. In fact, I think I outright denied it. I said, no, I don't support Joe Biden. But it's just you hear a lot of people on the right, and this goes to prove my point, you hear a lot of people on the right talk about, big tech censoring people, or how there's only the left voice gets out anymore. It's are you kidding me? I'm pretty sure the single biggest, political podcast is Steven Crowder. Are you fucking kidding me? Or at least independent news media podcast, probably, is Steven Crowder on YouTube with fucking almost 5 million subscribers. What the fuck are you talking about? Your fucking opinion is being silenced. Shut the fuck up. For the most part, I'd say you're not being silenced. I think that a lot of these right-wing websites will just take and cherry pick the times that they do get censored, and then use it, and they'll throw that out there. Not to say that they're wrong to do that, because they're probably right, and they probably are being censored because Hollywood and big tech and whatnot, they're all pretty left-leaning. So you have a lot of people who are against them for that. So there is some credence to it, although I definitely don't think it's as widespread as they make it out to believe. I watched a video from the Daily Wire, and I watched it, and I knew it was going to be bullshit when I watched it. From Michael Knowles. He did a little segment about how AOC wants to throw out, or keep records of everyone who supported Trump. And he went on about how she wants to keep records because she wants to throw people out or lock everyone up who supports Trump. And it's no. If you actually read the context of the tweet, that's not what she was saying at all. It was totally different. And it was actually about people who aided Trump, keep records of people who helped Trump, because there's a lot of evidence of corruption, and there's a lot of looking into corruption. Maybe not evidence. I I won't go as far as to say evidence. I don't know enough to say evidence, but I do know that there are people definitely looking into corruption in the Trump campaign. And I think there's some pretty clear evidence of corruption when you see that Trump is firing a bunch of people that work for him as they start to investigate him. And that's enough evidence of corruption, I do believe. But yeah, I mean, it's good that there's always investigations into corruption. Like, do you think that people aren't going to investigate Joe Biden when he gets in there? Come on. There should always be an investigation on the most powerful man in the world. That is totally fine. There should always be an investigation going on over something that is sketchy, because you need to make sure that that person is squeaky clean. You need to make sure that person is not indebted to somebody else or some foreign power. That's very important. But it's like, I hate this thing where they do that, where they talk about the Republicans, or I guess conservatives do that thing where they say that they're being censored. But it's like, I live in an area that is extremely right-wing, very Republican people. Some people around here go as far as to wave Confederate flags and shit, and it's just like, I don't agree with them at all. Frankly, I think it's rather stupid. But if I were to speak out about some of the things that I agree and disagree with, it's just like I would get socially ridiculed by a lot of people. I really would. Like, if I went out there and I said, yo, I'm pro-choice, I'd get fucking demolished by people who just disagree with me. Maybe not like literally demolished. I don't mean like physically, but like, let's say I would be socially ostracized. I don't know if that's the correct word. I don't know if that's the correct word. I'm sorry if that's the wrong word. But you get my point. It's like the same thing happens on both sides. It's not like just a left thing. This kind of thing it fucking goes. People just hate the possibility that somebody else has a different idea than them and that the whole world should be run their way. And it's like, first of all, you don't know shit, okay? I'm not going to sit here and try to tell the people of Chicago how to live their lives or how the lawmakers in Chicago should be making laws for Chicago, because it doesn't matter to me. It's not my problem. It's their life. I'm a big fan of local government, honestly, over the federal government, because like, the more you depend on state governments, the better, because state governments understand their people better than the federal government does. And that's this bullshit I hate about fucking every presidential election. Every fucking candidate goes up there and say how much they love and they know the American people. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. My governor has a better idea of who I am, and my governor's a piece of shit. It's just like, nobody gets it. They don't. And this is why your local shit matters, Your local government matters so much, but we've put so much emphasis on the federal government. And it's like, people, like, especially on the right, people on the right talk about how shitty the federal government is, how it's a whole system out to get us and whatnot. It's just like, but all you pay attention to is the federal government. That's all you care about. If you move beyond that, if you look more at a local level, you should care more there. You need to put more emphasis on that area, because it's going to hit you quicker. It's going to hit you more directly. I'm not saying you shouldn't care about the federal government and what it does, but I'm saying you should definitely pay more attention to what's happening in your area. Because I think it's a little bit more important than people give it credit for anymore. Because if you go back in time, like you go back to the times before television, the times before radio, where mass communication really wasn't a thing, and the fastest form of communication was a newspaper from the printing press. You go back that far, or a typewriter, I guess. You go back that far, and it's just like, people didn't have access to all this information. Some people couldn't even read and write. A lot of people couldn't. You go back to the early 1900s and 1800s, or late 1800s, or all 1800s in general. A lot of people couldn't write, especially minorities. They couldn't read. A lot of them couldn't. And so you have a lot of people who are uneducated, and they are at a huge disadvantage. So local government mattered a lot more, because those people in that area understood the way of their area. But when you go to a federal level, it's harder for people to understand what everyone's problems, because they're not around everybody. It was a lot more difficult. And now we have mass communication, and it's easier for people to talk to everybody all at once. So a president can do that. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of good things about that. I'm not saying that we should quit mass communication. Obviously not. That's absurd. However, I think it would take a pretty big mindset change in the way people think in order to get them to care more about their local government. Like, there was something on the county I live in on the ballot about making Chicago secede from Illinois, and it's just like, what the fuck? Are you people dumb? Do you understand where we get most of our revenue? Like, Illinois already has a problem as it is with the fucking roads. Do you really want less money to fix the roads? And I get it, like, the place that we get the most revenue also happens to be the place where we acquire the most debt, that being Chicago. But it's like, fuck, you're going to lose so much. if you were to secede from Chicago, as if it would ever fucking happen. It won't. Imagine that. Because the majority of the state is blue. And I love the people who, like, pull up the county maps of each state and they go, look how red the country is. It's just like, yeah, but then you look at the fucking population diversity and you realize that almost most of the population lives in a fucking blue area. It's more heavily crowded. It's just like, come on. It's obvious. You clearly just don't fucking get it. You literally look at a map like that and you go, oh, it's more red, therefore I should have won. It's like, shut the fuck up. You don't know how this works. Like, population diversity is a thing, you know. Not everyone is spread equally across the United States. You know, that's not how we divide. We don't literally divide land up. If that were the case, every time a baby was born, we'd all be losing like a fucking centimeter of land, and that'd be pretty fucking frequently, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's just anyway. Let's get off politics for a bit. Let's take a little break from that and let's talk about some other shit. So I've been doing a lot of music things lately, as I usually do, because if you those of you don't know, I'm very passionate about music. I'm a big fan of the musics. I write and I play the musics pretty often. I haven't gigged as much as I would like to lately because of COVID. I think I had one show with my current band. We did one show for a buddy of mine's birthday, and it was pretty good. It was a good time. Pretty small show, which is good. You know, you don't want a big crowd because of COVID. It was also our first show. We had one show. I've been doing some other things here and there though. Been writing a lot more, and it's been pretty fun. I think I have with the group I'm with now, we have 4, 5, or 6 songs written. I think 4 of which are fleshed out like perfectly, and that they could be recorded and done. And for those of you who don't know, our band name is Citrus. We do lots of rock. That's kind of our thing. I'm trying to move us away from being a cover band because we don't want to be a cover band. I like writing original shit. Obviously, though, when you have to start out doing covers and whatnot. I play bass for the band. It's pretty fun. I write a lot of the riffs. I write a lot of the grooves, along with my guitar player. Him and I get along pretty well. Our drummer's fantastic. Great guy. Wonderful dude. Kim is. He's a great drummer. JJ's my guitar player. Great guy as well. Just overall, good band, I think. If we had a good vocalist, right now JJ sings, and I also sing a little bit, but I think we had a really good vocalist, I think we'd be fucking set. I think we'd be gone, honestly. Because we could definitely nail that fucking 70s rock vibe. We could nail it hard, you know? And I think that would appeal to a lot of people who either miss that kind of sound, or people who like are looking for something new, and they haven't really heard that sound before. My dad told me that a local music guy, a pretty big local music guy in the area, told him that. So I guess I'm playing a game of telephone here. I told him that Citrus gave off some old Zeppelin vibes. I'm like, not my intention, but I will take it the compliment. I will certainly take the compliment. And that's pretty cool to have those vibes. But I think we take a lot of like fucking Metallica and Pantera vibes in some of these songs because a couple of them are just fucking quick, but it's like maybe a couple of songs that we have done so far have been like that. Some of them have been pretty like bar chord heavy. A couple of them have. Other ones, like the ones I've written so far, have been groove, like riffs, single note riffs that I do on the bass because they're just fucking good riffs. I might share some of it. I have an unlisted video on my channel I try to keep pretty well private because it's not like professional recordings. It's just shitty recording I did with my cell phone in the room while we fucking jammed out the songs. And I kind of spliced them together to make them sound semi-decent. But yeah, it's pretty good stuff. I will put a link in the description or pin a comment or something, I don't know, to a video of the band playing. It'll probably Funk 'Em. Probably will be that one. That's a decent song. Simple song, easy song to listen to and enjoy. It's probably going to be the opener to an EP or an album because it's just such a simple like groove. People can get it really fast. The guitar solo in that song is what makes it, honestly. Otherwise, it's just like a straight fucking groove slide across. I wanted to keep it simple, stupid. Not for the sake of Kiss, because I'm not a big fan of Kiss. Like, Kiss is a band. I think half of the appeal of Kiss was the image, and the other half is just, their music. But I don't think that your band's half of its image should be, half of their fame should be based off your image. However, that is pretty important because like I look at bands like Led Zeppelin, like the dudes in Led Zeppelin do not have much of an image. They did back then though. Like certainly back then they had the look down pretty well. Same with Queen. Like they did. Like none of them really look good by today's standards. But I think back then they probably had the image. Although I guess today's image, quotation marks, I guess, isn't much better. It's just different. Like I don't look at Billie Eilish's clothing style, which granted hers is a little bit different from what I think most people would do, and think, oh wow, that's gonna look so good. In 20 years, people gonna look back on that. Like her hair with the fucking black and the green in the front. I'm like, not a fan. But you do you. More power to you. Right on. I'm not a fan of dyed hair in general, so that's just me. I'm biased against dyed hair. Sorry, Billie. I do like your music though. She has really good music. I've always had a big thing for her music. I almost bought a vinyl record of her album. That would have been really good, I think, but I decided not to. Her album was like, what is it? Where do we go when we fall asleep? That album. It was like one of my dirty like little secret pleasures when it came out in 2019 January. Oh my god, it's almost 2 years old. That album's almost 2 fucking years old. Jesus Christ. When it came out, I really enjoyed it, but like I didn't want to tell anybody because it was like that's really poppy and it's kind of not my thing. And it was just like, well, what is my thing? It was kind of like one of those things that opened my eyes up to different genres of music. That and like Stevie Wonder opened me up to different kinds of music. Like that got me into funk. Stevie Wonder did. James Brown got me into funk as well. And that got me into Wolfpack, and I fucking love Wolfpack. I will go nuts for a Wolfpack song, dude. Like, the one thing about a Wolfpack fan is if they haven't talked about Wolfpack to you yet, they will. And you'll know pretty quickly, because they really can't stop talking about it. Like, well, if you know who Wolfpack is and you enjoy it a lot, they'll tell you. You'll know. Like, you'll tell somebody. Like, you could be 15 minutes in your first conversation. Hey, you like music? Yeah, sure. You like Wolfpack? Who? Oh, you're gonna like it. Either because like the thing with Wolfpack is like either people love it or they fucking hate it, or they just think it's boring. I've seen that happen too. I guess. Like I feel like metalheads probably couldn't get down to a lot of Wolfpack, but there's always like there's metal douches. The people like, oh dude, I fucking love Five Finger Death Punch. It's my favorite metal band, dude. It's like, why? It's just fucking double kick pedals and screaming. It's all it is. And he's got a bitchy voice. No offense. Well, no, I mean, okay, I will mean that offensively. Because I'm not a big fan of the band. They kind of do a lot of the same shit. I know there's be like, oh, well, this song is so good. And meanwhile, I could be like, Avenged Sevenfold. And someone could be like, oh, he's just doing guitars and whiny screaming. And it's like, yeah. But at least it's cooler than the fucking double kick pedals. Stupid bullshit. At least guitar has some fucking variation in the sound. These fucking on the fucking kick pedals. It's so stupid and annoying, dude. I hate that. Like Slipknot did that with All Hope Is Gone. That album's bad. I don't like All Hope Is Gone. Not my favorite album of theirs. But that album's what, fucking 12 years old now? Not my favorite album. There's a lot of that album had the fucking double kickers, and it's just like, god damn it, quit it. I'm still a pretty big Slipknot fan. System of a Down put out new shit, and that was pretty cool. Their song, what is it, Protect the Land or whatever, not that great. It just kind of sounds like radio friendly. It doesn't sound like System of a Down, but Genocidal Humanoids, that's fucking System of a Down. Like, I played those songs for my dad, and the first one he was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. My dad's also a pretty big music buff. He's kind of the reason I got into music, and him and I like a lot of the same musics. And System of a Down is one of those bands that we happen to both like. And then I just played those two songs because they were the only two released on that single. And the second song is like, oh yeah, this is System of a Down. Oh yeah, that's the good shit. And so we had a pretty good time with that, and it's just a great fucking song. Genocidal Humanoids is just good, just fucking like weird, and that's one of the great things about nu metal and System of a Down in particular. Like they just had some weird shit. Like one of my favorite songs from them is Deer Dance off their Toxicity album. Fucking great song. I fucking love Deer Dance. Wonderful song. I'm a big fan of theirs. Have been for a long time, honestly. I've been a big fan of theirs for a long time. Like, if there's any, like, bands that shaped my musical taste, they're one of them. Avenged Sevenfold's another. I would probably say, Led Zeppelin for sure, Queen for sure, Stevie Ray Vaughan, obviously, and that's a big one for me. So is Queen. I fucking love Queen. Yeah, I think that's the big ones. For me in terms of my music. So I like a lot of rock and a lot of blues. I'm a big fan of that shit. Eric Clapton too. Eric Clapton made some good shit, like fucking Bell Bottom Blues, dude. Oh, I'm also a big fan of classical piano. There's this one girl I always listen to, great pianist. I can't ever pronounce her name right, so I'm not gonna even try. But she's really good, and she's fucking wonderful at playing piano. It makes me very jealous. I wish I could play as well as her. And I probably could for the low price of free and dedication. I probably could do it. Anyway, we have passed the 30-minute mark in the podcast. If you guys have enjoyed it so far, give it a little like. Give it a little something, because it's obviously the best podcast you're ever gonna hear. This is the one time I'll do a Trump impression. It's not very good. Excuse me. It's not very good. Anyway, but yeah, thanks guys for watching this far in the video. Let's I'm gonna take a quick sip of Pepsi. Oh yeah, it's good shit. So yeah, try to make that entertaining, because odds are I'm not gonna like remember to cut that, and when I go to listen back to it, I'm probably just gonna fucking forget. And that'll be great, because usually with these podcasts I try to cut down a little bit of stuff that I can, but like I'm probably gonna forget. It's fucking 30 minutes in. I'm gonna fucking forget that. Let's talk a little bit about what I have planned for the future of the channel. Obviously, I have more video essays coming. I mentioned a couple of those earlier in regards to Dark Cloud. I have a couple more topical videos that will kind of be talking about either the next-gen console or talking about my fears for Breath of the Wild 2, which I do have a couple, and they've kind of been like on my mind. And then like, dude, I had this video idea months ago talking about Breath of the Wild 2. Like, I had this idea where I was going to talk about how I'm worried about the game not being as good as I think people are going to try to hype it up for. Because when I look at Nintendo's games as of recently, they have not been of the same quality. And I feel like Age of Calamity is just a response to the fact that the story in Breath of the Wild 1 was so fucking shitty and just not well done. Which, granted, I'll give Nintendo the benefit, here, in that it was their first game in a long time that was open, and their first game that was open format with a story as well, so I'll give them that. My other concern was like, what are they going to do for the map for Breath of the Wild 2? And like, I had that idea months ago, and then like a few days ago Arlo comes out with that exact video about the map, and I'm like, damn it, I should have made the video. It's like, now if I make it, it's just going to sound like I'm copying Arlo, and I don't want to sound like I'm copying Arlo, but I might just make it anyway, because I think my ideas go further than just the map. And again, I don't want to talk about it too much, because if I talk about it too much, it'll just ruin the point of having the video in the first place. But other things in terms of the channel, I want to get more heavy in my video editing. I want to get more into it, and I want to start uploading regularly. I mean, fairly regularly. When I have a series going on, which I don't know how often that'll be, I want to do 3 videos of that series a week with a podcast, either on the Saturday or every other Saturday. I think that's a good schedule. If I keep myself on a schedule, I think I'll be fine. If I have a video essay coming up that week, I will replace one of the videos from that series going up. But I want to try and get a video out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then either every Saturday or every other Saturday. I'm leaning towards every other Saturday right now, because I feel like 4 videos a week to 3 videos a week is fairly decent. I think a consistent schedule will be good for the channel. And I think so far I can definitely hold up to that. So that's the plans for the channel at this point, boys. I'm hoping things go well. I'm hoping things keep going the way they go. Maybe I'll get lucky and have another video like the Wii U one, which boasted me a few subscribers. Very nice. Thank you for the new peeps who have come along. I promise not every video is going to be a shitty Minecraft Let's Play. Not every video is going to be a podcast. I have plenty of stuff coming up. For the new people who don't know, I have a music channel as well. I make music. I will put a link in the description to my music channel. You can check that out. That music channel used to be my original channel before I changed everything around. I think I've mentioned that probably before on the podcast, but whatever. I also want to do on the channel, like, I want to go back to talking about silly Nintendo games, because I haven't done that in a while. Like, I think the last video game review I did was Super Mario World, and I really want to do Super Mario Bros. 3, because that is kind of like, okay, I talked about the one, and I gotta talk about the other, because it's like, it's those two games are so huge in the history of Mario. I think when everyone thinks of like the Mario game, like the 2D platformer Mario games, like Super Mario Bros. 3, I think that's the one that people think of the most. I don't think anyone goes, oh yeah, new Super Mario Bros. 2, dude, obviously the best fucking one ever. I haven't played that game in forever. I have my 2DS. I don't ever play my 2DS, which is a shame because I've put quite a bit of money into that. But I mean, I can't get into a lot of 2DS games, or I guess 3DS. Sorry, games. I really can't get into them, mainly because like I'm an adult. And by the time I got into my DS, I was a senior in high school, and I was a junior in high school when I got my first 2DS. And then as a senior, I just stopped playing it as much. And like I barely touch my Switch now. Like when Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, it will probably be the last game I buy for the Switch. Maybe Mario Odyssey 2 if they do that. But it will probably be the last one. I just don't play a lot of console games. I'm not a big fan of them. I'm really not. I find it hard to just come home and just sit down and just play video games. I find it hard because usually number one I'm worn out when I come home because I have a fairly labor intensive job. I'm also mentally worn out depending on the day, and it's just like I don't want to fucking sit on my couch and have to look up at my TV and for however long. I just want to I want to do something productive and fun. And now that I've got myself on this schedule thing here where I am just making videos, and I might not have a video on Monday next week because I have a very busy weekend. I don't know if I said that, but I have a very busy weekend. I got band practice Sunday and I got some shit going on tomorrow. It's like, oh fuck, I don't have time for shit. But yeah, very busy weekend. But there might not be a video Monday. But I hope that I can keep this schedule going. I really do because I think it'll be very beneficial. Anyway, here's some merch. No, actually, what's funny is I had a merch page there for a bit. I sold shirts. I sold, I think maybe leggings. No, I didn't sell leggings. I sold a mug. That was pretty neat. It was all just black, like black with my little logo, my Gary Davidson Music logo, which is actually now my Citrus logo. I could make Citrus merch. I could do that. That'd be kind of fun. Little fruits and shit. Like, what I wanted to do on our first show was just walk in with just shirts that were just, like, a bunch of oranges just fucking everywhere on the shirt. I thought it would have been hilarious. And then I was like, no, we'll just all wear red. And then nobody else wore red. And I was like, okay, thanks, guys. I'm the only one here wearing I was wearing a red paisley. And I'm like, oh, this is great. No, it was pretty good fun. But I like having themes to that kind of shit. But no, in the future, I could probably do some merch. But that's, like, way down the line kind of thing, you know. I don't plan on, like, for me, this YouTube channel isn't, like, it would be awesome to have this as a stable source of income and do this for a living. It'd be a fucking dream come true, honestly, because that's some hard fucking work, doing video editing and doing content like that. It's hard work. People don't give it the credit it deserves, honestly. But I would love it, every bit of that grind, because I love creating things. And being able to put it on a platform like YouTube is so fucking great. Like, even doing this stupid shit, it's just like, sorry, the podcast isn't stupid. I love it. The best podcast in the world, the Bit Monologue. Even doing this, it's just like, this is awesome. You know, this is so cool. Doing the Minecraft Hardcore series where I get to edit videos like that and for fun. I'm not doing it for money, obviously, because I don't have enough subscribers to do it for money. And even if I did, it would be like, I just do it because I enjoy it. I do it because I like it. It's easy. It's easy. It's an easy decision for me. Not the video editing isn't easy. That sometimes takes some fucking. It pissed me off a couple times there. I try to do something and it just doesn't work out the way I want it to, and I'm like, but yeah, it's an easy decision for me to make in that this is what I would want to do with my life. And I've said that like several times. Like, again, I've been making YouTube videos for 8 years. I've been doing it since I was 11. I'm currently 20. And I know those numbers probably don't add up, but just think with your brain. Months exist, by the way. That might answer the question for you. But yeah, I started in fucking July 22nd of 2012 on my music channel. That is the date that it was created. And man, from there, I've just been making stuff ever since, dude. I've just been making shit. It's never really took off for me because I've just never, like, number one, I've never had that dedication. That is the biggest thing I have a problem with, is the fucking dedication and deciding, this is what I'm going to do, I'm going to fucking do it. And to be honest with you, you know what really inspired me this time? Like, what really gave me that, what really hit me over the edge? Unis Honest, of all things. You remember that channel? That channel that just recently died a couple weeks ago? Or last Friday? Oh man, that's already been a week. It's already been a week since Unis Honest died. Oh, I'm so sad. I'm big sad. I watched that entire 12-hour live stream. I bought a hoodie. I bought a t-shirt. That's it. I made a couple memes out of it. I watched that entire fucking live stream, start to end, dude. Fucking great. Great channel, great guys. And like that whole thing, I was thinking about their content, the things they did, and like they just did it for fun. They were just having fun when they made that stuff. Maybe not the grind of it, because video editing sucks. It's not fun. It's not fun for the most part. It can get pretty annoying, video editing can, but the finished product is always like worth it. Always is, so long as you do a good job. And New Songs is so unique because it's just like, man, it's like, yeah, everything's temporary, but I didn't really think about, like, even on the internet, you know, things are going to end, and it's just like, man, I have a quarter of my life has gone by. I'm 20 years old. I only have 60 years left. Like, that's considering I don't die in my 70s, and I live to my 80s. I want to do what I can while I can, you know? I want to create things and show things to the world that I won't have a chance to once I'm older. And it's simply, that's the only reason why I do it, is because there are things I like talking about, there's things I like doing, and this just happens to be one of those things, along with music. You know, music is another one. Like, this is like, this passion for video creating supersedes, I think, any other hobby I have. Like, music is pretty cool. I would say it's definitely my second passion. Video creation and doing content work is my number one for sure. It is my number one thing that I want to do with my life. For sure. I have a real big passion for it. I have a big heart for doing it. I've idolized people that have done it for years. And that's the thing, it's just like, I spent so much time in high school wondering what I was going to do with my life. And the idea of being a YouTuber was always just like, it's stupid, I can't do it, you know, how am I going to support myself? It's like, I can support myself. I have a job. I have a full-time job that I do now. I could support myself if and or up until this takes off. I can do it. I just need to be dedicated with it. And it took me up until last week to hit that epiphany. And all through high school and ever since then, I had just been thinking to myself, what am I doing? You know, what's my goal? What's my purpose? Tell myself, oh, am I going to be an English teacher? Because I thought about being an English teacher in high school for a bit. Am I going to be a musician? You know, am I just going to go work in an HVAC company for the rest of my life? And the answer always came out to be no, or I don't know if I can do this shit forever. And it's so obvious because all through that, I've been making shit and putting it on YouTube, whether it's stupid, silly memes or just a stupid video of me playing Minecraft and talking about a Minecraft server. Like, on my old channel, I would do this thing where I'd review Minecraft servers. I would just go on some small server, play it for like a month or two, and then upload a review about it. And I would put the IP in the video. I would spread the word. I wouldn't do it for a rank or anything. I wouldn't do it for any kind of like, hey, I reviewed your video on YouTube. I mean, your server on YouTube. I want diamonds. No, I didn't do that. I just did it because it was like, if I enjoy the server or if I don't enjoy the server, I want to tell people. I want people to have a place where they can come and go to have Minecraft servers, and that was like back when I was like a Minecraft YouTuber, because that was like the only game I had that I could fucking upload was Minecraft that my computer could handle at the time. So that's what I did. That's just what I fucking did. And there was a lot of times that I would do shit like that and just never really think about. I mean, I thought about it, of course. I thought about YouTube being a career, but it always just seemed impossible to me. And it still kind of does at this point, you know. But now it's like, it might be impossible, but I really want to fucking do it. Even if it is impossible. Like, I don't give a shit anymore. I'm going to fucking try to do it my hardest, man. Because I love doing it. And, like, I think having the support of my family and friends, that'll be the toughest thing to get. I don't even think my mom is subscribed to my YouTube channel yet. I have to get on you about that, Mom. I have to get on you about that. Although I don't think my mom would enjoy all of the things that I've said, even on this podcast. I think my mom and I would probably disagree on some of that, but that's okay. You know, I absolutely love my mom, and I think she understands that I am an adult and I'm gonna have different ideas than her. But yeah, like, today, thinking about my parents, my dad brought me his old duster coat. I had a duster coat I used to wear at high school. He brought it to me. I need to get some leather treatment on it because it's been sitting out in the porch for like a fucking year. It's a roofed porch. It's closed off, but it's not heated or cool, so it's just been sitting on the air. And I'm like, ugh. So I need to get it treated. I need to get my boots treated as well. My work boots are treated as well. I might go to Walmart and get both of that done at the same time. But oh man, if I have pictures of me in it, I'll post them somewhere. Maybe I'll put them on Twitter. I have a Twitter. I never do anything with it. I think I follow the president, like Tim Pool, who I don't watch on YouTube anymore. Fucking Matt and Ryan from Super Mega. Obviously Markiplier, and I think Ethan as well because of Unis Honest. Both of those actually from Unis Honest, because I didn't follow Markiplier at all either. Because I don't use Twitter. I don't like Twitter. I think Twitter is kind of a shitty platform. I think it's toxic as fuck when it comes to anything controversial. It's toxic as hell. Not saying that Twitter doesn't have good things. Twitter can have a lot of good things. Twitter can be good for a lot of things, like porn. Corn, great, big corn community on Twitter. Twitter is just not a platform for me. I've never liked it. Like when it comes to like social media platforms, I don't like. Twitter is number 1. Facebook's number 2. Instagram's number 3. Reddit might be 4 because I don't know enough about Reddit at all. And I think that might be TikTok's number 1. Sorry, TikTok's number 1. Everything else can get bumped down. TikTok can be number 2. Twitter, I think Twitter, because Twitter will definitely outlive TikTok, and is older than TikTok. I think Twitter should remain number 1. TikTok can get number 2, and everything else can get fucking bumped down. TikTok is just not good. I'm not a big fan of it. Like, I know a lot of people love it because it's like little bite-sized comedy. It's like I think everyone wants it to be the Vine, but it can never be Vine. It will never be Vine, guys. It never will be. It's different than Vine. I think everyone knows that at this point. But a lot of it's like bite-sized humor or bite-sized videos that are meant to get a quick reaction or a quick thing, and then you move on to the next one and it's over. And I think that's what a lot of what TikTok is, and it's like it feeds that adrenaline drive that we have nowadays to like everything needs to be sped up faster, better and stronger. No one's gonna get that reference but me. But yeah, it just kind of feeds that adrenaline rush that we all have constantly on social media. You know, you see your For You page fill up and you see your posts get likes and you're like, boom, holy shit, I'm doing well. You know, man, is it obvious that I have a TikTok but I don't use it? Like, I do, and I never go on there. It's just like, I thought I'd get it. A few of my friends had it, so I was like, all right, I'm convinced. I guess I'll check it out. I was like, I'm not a fan. Just not a fan of it. A lot of it's cringy. Like, there's some cringy shit. Like, especially when these fucking 16-year-olds are talking about politics. It's just like, shut the fuck up. You don't know anything about politics. Just shut up. I have seen a couple good, actually political people on there make a lot of good points. But it's like, man, you're trying to do this thing where you, like... The thing about TikTok, and you try to make TikTok political, is, like, you don't have enough time to formulate an argument in 15 seconds and then have someone else rebuttal you in a fucking response video, or a duet, I guess is what it's called. There's not enough time to formulate these things out. You're not there in a real conversation, so you can, like, get your little edgy word pieces in, your little hit pieces in before you finish the TikTok. And it's just like, man, it's not a good debate platform. Like, if you're going to TikTok to get your political knowledge... Don't stop. Don't go there. Go to fucking like NPR or something. Jesus Christ. That's the worst place you could go is fucking TikTok. I mean, when it comes to news, I try to be generally like genuinely centrist. I would say I go to NPR the most. Then after NPR, it's the Daily Wire. So it's like you have like, kind of centrist news of NPR, then fucking right-wing Daily Wire. And then behind that, I have like CNN, I have Fox News, I have the Washington Post as well. So it's like I get a good mix of information, left and right. So I try to get everything. But again, TikTok, not good. TikTok is not good. Not a good fan. I have seen some pretty cool shit on TikTok. Like, don't get me wrong. There is some very, very funny and creative people on TikTok. And or creative people on TikTok. But just overall the platform, not for me. I'm not going to shit on you if you use it or if you like it, Obviously, that'd be silly. If you want to use TikTok and you enjoy TikTok, go use TikTok. TikTok. Time is running out. We're all going to die. That is the inevitability of life. It is the one truth in life. It is what makes life special. The fact that we're all going to die is what gives it meaning. Anyway, that's the end of the podcast. Cool. Thanks. Bye.